For the first time in more than 5.5 years, we finally tonight have a few new answers to a question that has loomed over Indiana and over the town of Delphi. Who killed Abby Williams and Libby German?
The end of the bridge you got to go through. Now, I believe that the bodies were found about 50.
Born from a family's grief and determination. In April of 2020, Army soldier Vanessa Guillen went missing while stationed at one of the largest military installations.
That little music in the background that goes, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
Right.
Knew about it or was there. He's as guilty as the person who committed it.
Chilling details in the arrest of a suspected serial killer caught before he could strike again.
They dropped the ball, man. Like they said, he went AWOL, and that he was a deserter, and nobody went to look for him.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder.
Like I said, we're going back. We were asked last time to kind of talk about the food, the grub truck video, and kind of give our perspective of it. The press release from the police department, it indicated that they're still trying to put pieces together from that night. Does that worry you at any point or at any bit that they're still trying to put those pieces together?
It's been over 5 weeks since little Kaylee Anthony vanished. Her mother, Casey, has been arrested for lying to police. She's being held without bail.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to the Drunken Turkey Show. Your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
Just like every other podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drunk Turkey Show. I'm Daniel. Be me tonight, solo, so bear with me on the comments and things of that nature. Already drinking, apparently. And speaking of things of that nature, don't forget, guys, we have the Things of That Nature t-shirt that's going on right now. Okay, second, let me pull it up. Just for those that haven't seen it yet. Go get it. It's at Bonfire. Comes in 2 colors. It's green and black. For some reason, the black one not showing up there, but it comes in green and black. There's other t-shirts that are available. Make sure you go check those out. So, without further ado, let's get into the content. Let's talk about the stuff that's going on today. Well, first and foremost, I want to have a moment of silence for Riley Strain. He's a guy that went missing as well, college student, went missing out there in Nashville, I believe. It's out there at Luke Bryan's bar. There's a couple of bits of surveillance. Caught him kind of stumbling around and near a river, and unfortunately they recovered his body this morning, and he's no longer with us. So a brief moment of silence for him. And unfortunately, he's not the only kid that's gone missing. This one's a little bit more closer to home here in San Antonio, Texas. Well, this kid, he's from New Braunfels. He's a college kid, was going out to Corpus Christi A&M and went up missing on March 4th. There's a lot of suspiciousness around his disappearance. And today we're going to be going through some of the suspicion activity, stuff that's been going around his disappearance. And also there's a surveillance video that just recently came out of the events leading up to his disappearance. We'll look into that, and we'll look at where, his apartment was located and perhaps maybe where he could have wandered off to. But this is Caleb. Let me pull this up. And there is a reward for his safe return. The last time that he was seen was on March 4th. Reward of $25,000 is being offered for information that leads to the safe return of Caleb Harris by March 31st, 2024. There's a phone number there, 361 826-2950. There has been, I believe, a few sightings of him. There's been some calls, unverified, though. They haven't been able to locate him. So this is Caleb. Oh, wrong way. So this is from News Nation. Harris is a student at Texas A&M, disappeared in the early morning hours of March 4th. He had walked his dog just before 3 a.m., returned home, and then left again. He's not been seen since. Harris's father said his son's phone has been dead since then, and that Harris has no shoes, no wallet. His truck was locked, and his keys are in the house. So apparently he was with some friends. He had a little dog with him. He took the dog out walking. There's some surveillance of him around 1 a.m. with the dog and two of his roommates. Apparently after that, sometime around closer to 3, he, I guess, taking the dog out again, was bringing the dog back in, and then left again without shoes or anything and just vanished into thin air. A couple of pictures of him, just in case anybody's seen him. Again, he's from the New Braunfels, San Antonio area, but he was going out of school out there at Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. That's I'm gonna pull up a video real quick. This is off of Facebook, and one of the Facebooks that's dedicated to finding Caleb. Let me I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, 'cause I don't know about the music that they have in the background, and it's loud. Jesus.
Caleb, we love you. We've raised you. We cherish you. Fight with everything you have. Remember Scripture. God will reveal.
These are Caleb's parents, Becky and Randy Harris. When Randy got the news that his son was missing, he's taken off. I believe he's still in Corpus Christi, searching for his son. Completely sad situation.
Reveal Scripture to you, and that Scripture. Come home. Just come home, because you've got so many people that love you, and we just want to see you. We want to go fishing. Just come home. Fight hard. Come home. We love you.
So Caleb is in his third year at A&M Corpus Christi, and he loves to fish, and he loves to plan things with his roommates for the week. And he was fishing with a couple of his buddies that Sunday afternoon, and went home, and they had dinner, and they had a new dog, or his roommate got a new dog, and they were playing with them and shooting videos of him outside and just having a good time, just like a typical 21-year-old boy would do. And he was last seen or heard from about 2:45 in the morning. And we have a last ping on his phone just after 3, right in that area. And his roommate called me the next day, that Monday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and had already called the campus police and called the Corpus Christi police, and was at the end where they finally contacted his parents. And so about 3 o'clock, he called me and let me know that Caleb was missing.
We had been texting the night before, different stuff about fishing and fishing the next day. So when I got the call, it was pretty gut-wrenching, like, yeah, there is something wrong. And so I immediately went to Corpus, and as soon as I got there, had the roommates had the police officer that was meeting with them, had his information, and that's when, he felt like this is not normal. This is not, this is a different situation where, Caleb disappeared, vanished, And so it was elevated at that point to a missing persons.
Right away, we knew that we needed to find some clues as to where Caleb was. And so we started looking at everybody that had snapped him or texted him or had talked to him. And we came up with that we knew that he was fishing that afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And then by like 11 o'clock or so, he was talking to his friend from New Braunfels Christian Academy that lives in Colorado. And then after that, he was.
So here's the video, guys. This is what I've been kind of waiting to see. So this is approximately 1 a.m. So by it saying approximately 1 a.m., March 4, 2024, that's probably added on afterwards. I don't believe that that's on the actual camera there. It's a blink camera. And you can see that the video there isn't the best, but you can see the parking lot of his apartment complex. You can see the first row of cars and a second row of cars behind them, leading up to another side of the apartment complex or townhomes, something like that. It's hard to see with the reflection of the lights there, but yeah, this is him right there in the white with the white hat walking up
with his friends about 1 o'clock, and we have some footage of him with with one of his roommates and one of his friends playing with the dog in the parking lot.
Now, I believe there is footage of him leaving later on as well, but I haven't found it. I don't know if it's been released yet, but this is the only footage I've been able to find.
Previous to that, he had texted a picture to me, to Randy, and to my brother of the dog. So as we were trying to solve the puzzle of at what point did Caleb leave the apartment, we determined that the latest communication via technology was to my daughter, and it was a picture of the puppy at about 2:45 in the morning. We know his phone pinged at a little after 3, but we're not sure exactly where he was or if he had contacted anybody with that ping.
Phone actually quit working at 2:58, but there were some after getting a subpoena with AT&T, we found that there was a couple other something pinging on the phone after that.
So the phone stopped working at 2:58, yet it was still pinging until 3, 2 minutes after that. That's interesting. That is that's confusing, but interesting. The dog was found. Gail left barefoot. I'm gonna mute this. This is a little bit loud, and I don't know if I can. I'm not even sure if I can use this. Hold on, give me a sec. Let me stop sharing the screen real quick. Trying to figure out how to mute this thing. You know what? I got an idea. All right, let me. Oh, that sucked. I'm gonna have to unmute it so I can hear what he's saying. Sorry about the confusion there. It's just I don't really like the music stuff in the background. It can kind of get us in trouble a little bit. But let's carry on.
Getting the information from AT&T, the initial location was not accurate. Once we got some better technology, we were able to narrow it down to another location within a square. That's where they felt like the phone actually was at some point. so many things that just don't add up, especially at 3 a.m. Not uncommon, when he was working at the movie theater, he'd get in at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's, and you'll, as I've been there now.
All right, give me a sec. Let me pull this up. So this is Google Earth. This is his apartment complex. This is where he was at. Pull some of this off. Now, I was worried, maybe perhaps, because there is a huge body of water here, the Oso Bay. That maybe perhaps he wandered off this way after, not consuming alcohol, but it don't appear that he went this direction. And it appears he went over here instead towards the Corpus Christi Bay Medical Center Bay Area. Why would he go here towards the hospital? Unless it's just me spitballing, but maybe something happened. Somebody picked him up, took him to the hospital. And maybe he didn't make it to the hospital. That's weird. That's real weird. But, why did he leave barefooted too? Was he planning on meeting somebody? Was he planning on meeting somebody just outside? I mean, I don't think that somebody would leave the premises barefooted. I would assume they would have been probably somewhere close by, unless this guy's just, a barefooted type of guy. There are some folks out there that like to be barefooted. But if he was barefooted and it's 3 a.m, that doesn't scream to me that he's going out for a walk or that he's going to be leaving the apartment complex. I would have assumed that whatever happened there in this complex. Was he near the beach? I don't think so. It said that the phone turned off around here, around the Medical Bay area. I mean, honestly, my initial thought are, it's after 2 a.m., college town. You probably have somebody consuming alcohol, drinking and driving. Did somebody get hit by a vehicle? Try to get taken to the hospital, succumbs to the injuries, and they panic. I don't know. That's just my speculation. But I'm pretty sure there would be some evidence of that, especially if the damage, if there was an accident, there should have been some sort of evidence of that, especially if it was life-threatening. And I think you would have probably seen maybe something in the roadway here, perhaps. Maybe somebody would have heard it. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. Now, I think a huge indicator would be how long did it take from the phone to ping here to this area. If it took it a little bit of time, then obviously he's on foot. If it took him a little bit quicker, then he may have gotten picked up. And I find it weird that his phone just also goes off. I don't understand this whole, blinking back in and out. See, that's what made me think maybe the water, right? Water maybe perhaps was having some sort of effect on the phone. But I don't know. This is truly a mystery so far.
That apartment complex is kind of busy because kids are working, they're doing, they're going to school, they're working out at night or whatever. But but he was planning a lot of stuff. It wasn't like he wasn't going anywhere. I mean, he was planning stuff. So that's what is odd about the whole case. As far as what we're doing now and going forward, we're obviously, depending upon the authorities, which we have, it is known now that the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, and the Texas Rangers are involved, or DPS, Texas Rangers are involved. We have another group of retired and current FBI, CIA people that are going to be kind of coming in and helping bridge some gaps, maybe thinking outside the box a little bit, just to aid with the authorities, and they have a relationship with the authorities, so it's not somebody that's going to hinder the investigation. And then we are offering a reward that we just announced today for the safe return of Caleb, and we'll be putting that out all over social media, local news networks in San Antonio, New Braunfels, Corpus. San Antonio's embraced us as well, because we're so close to San Antonio. Some of the investigation led to New Braunfels, led to San Antonio, where they came and interviewed people here and looked at phones and things like that.
Wow. So that's interesting. Their investigation led to San Antonio and to New Braunfels. Huh. Now, a lot of this stuff, guys, I'm listening with you guys for the first time. In fact, this is the first time I've actually seen this video. I know a couple of the reports that are out there. I've seen some of the headlines, especially when he initially went missing. So some of this is new to me. I had assumed that they had gone to San Antonio or to New Braunfels to talk with, people that knew him, just to kind of get an idea if there were places that, he may have told them that he would have gone to, or that he liked to visit, or some of the activities that he was doing, maybe that he didn't tell anybody else, or his parents, those type of things. But you kind of said that the investigation led them to San Antonio and New Braunfels. That's interesting.
Not really a lead, other than what was Caleb doing up to this point. Maybe there's something, that we could glean from it, and that's still going on. There's a lot of data, cyber data, that they're looking at, from his laptop to the phone data. Anything that we can use to find another lead that they can go after.
We were really blessed that our church, one of the churches in our community, Oakwood, had a prayer service for Caleb, and some of Caleb's friends showed up and to pray, and then they immediately went to Corpus to help look. But they all surrounded Andy, because they've kind of been the big brothers, along with her brother, and are protective of her just as well.
Yeah, it was just he just loves being with other friends, and he has some just incredible, friends that he's very, very close to. Corpus has really come out to help us. I mean, the community there it's a smaller town. It is a city, but it's a smaller town, and we've had an immense amount of people locally that have come out and helped with searches. We've also had a lot of people from New Braunfels come out and help.
Just a community of believers that have reached out and have prayed for Caleb, and have given us encouraging words, give us encouraging scripture. And that has been the drive to keep moving, and the drive to find him.
Yes. So what we were doing is initially we did this as well within the apartment complex, within area businesses, looking at every business we could that has a ring camera or some type of security camera monitoring their business. A lot of them are monitored remotely, and so they've had to contact the security companies to get that information from them. But we really are reaching out to everybody to check your cameras, check the time frame between 2 and 4 in the morning. They've written a lot of warrants, a lot of subpoenas. Obviously, we have a judge down there that's right on top of it. So I think.
And I've seen this a few times in the comment section. Yeah, he was. I think the last time they saw him also was at 2:45 a.m. He was supposed. I think he grabbed a Uber Eats order. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up somewhere. And we'll read this real quick before we get back into that interview. It says, missing college student Caleb Harris disappeared after ordering Uber Eats. It's a mystery. This is Texas A&M University Corpus Christi student Caleb Harris vanished after going to pick up his Uber Eats order last week, according to his parents. Corpus Christi police have been searching for Harris, 21, for a week since he was last seen outside of his apartment complex, The Cottages, which advertises for housing for A&M students just before 3 a.m. on Monday, March 4th. Roommate got a new dog, and so from 10 p.m. on, they were playing with the dog. We do have some video of them playing with the dog. Caleb's father, Randy Harris, told Fox News Digital he was preparing for the next afternoon. He had ordered from convenience stores his lunches for the next day, which is very normal. He's a creature of habit, so it was very normal for him to do that. His family says they got different Snapchats from Caleb until about 2:45 a.m. when he went to take the new dog out for a walk around the new apartment complex. Yeah, so he took the dog around the apartment complex and then went back, left the dog there, left again, barefooted, no wallet, I believe just his phone, no keys. Interesting stuff there. This is very odd. So it says here, just before 3 a.m., he put the dog back inside the apartment and went outside to wait for his Uber Eats order to arrive, but he never returned to his apartment, Randy said. Caleb had his phone on him at the time, but Corpus Christi police say it was turned off. The Uber Eats delivery was marked as completed, Randy said. Well, have they spoke to this dude or female? I don't know who it is. I'm sure they have. Right. I mean, it's been a few weeks. I'm sure they would have made contact with this person. He kind of vanished. There's no evidence of wrongdoing, but there's no evidence at all of, and it's a matter of looking at every inch, everything we could possibly think of. He added, it's a mystery. That's insane. Like, and Janet asks, does trafficking happen to young men like this? I believe so. Females aren't the only ones that get trafficked. I don't know if that's the case here, but I do believe there is footage of him going out for the last time. It has not yet been released, but or at least I haven't found it. If you guys have found it, please, if it's out there, email it to me. And Cisco Kid says, I hate to say it, but maybe a hookup. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but you know, it seems like he was prepared for the night. He had ordered his food. He went outside to pick up his food. You know, is it possible that he called somebody else? Maybe perhaps the food that he had would be an indication if it was for just himself, or maybe perhaps he ordered it for somebody else as well. You know, if we can get an idea of what that food was, that would help. Also, like, where is this, Uber Eats guy dropping off the food? Typically, isn't that like in front of your building? Now he's in an apartment complex. Maybe they have a different rules or a set area for food, pick up and drop off. So that's possible. He never came back. Allie, that's where he got the dog. Looks like an expensive breed. I don't think it's his dog. I think it's one of his roommate's dogs. Did he eat the food? Yeah, that's a good question right here. Did he eat the food? Yeah, Vicky, I was kind of thinking that too, but they're saying there's no, as far as maybe getting hit in the parking lot, there's no evidence of that. If you're going to get hit and it's going to be, creating life-threatening injuries, I mean, typically there's some sort of evidence of that hit, whether it's blood or paint or body, paint chips or body damage or paint transfer or skid marks in the floor, things of that nature that you would have expected to see. And yet they say there's no sign of it. Does anybody know there'd been a sign of him drinking or using? I don't think so. He was sending Snapchats to his family. There's a video of him and his buddies playing with the dog at around 1 a.m. So they were at the apartment. I mean, there's a good chance that maybe perhaps they were consuming alcohol or something. I don't know. Apparently, he was going to go fishing the next day. So, I don't know. It was supposedly his next day fishing trip. Uber was a woman and cleared, is what they said. Doing other deliveries, just dropped off Uber at door. Huh. Thank you, Stacy, for letting us know that. So if they dropped it off at the door, at his apartment complex door, then he picked it up and went somewhere else. Did he see something? Maybe he saw something after he picked up his Uber Eats. Like somebody that shouldn't have been there kind of thing. Maybe somebody looking in cars or something. Just kind of spitballing, guys. Angel says, I go to the mailbox without my thongs and get my bendies in my feet. Ouch. It's a good point. Those mean something else out here in America. Oh, in front of the complex store. Okay. Makes more sense. That makes more sense. So that's what I had said. I think I was wondering if there was a designated spot for the actual, food to be dropped off and to be picked up. I would hope so. Surely there's more camera footage somewhere out there that they aren't giving us. Gross Brothers ask. Yeah, I say, well, I hope so. Let's see. Let's get back to this video real quick. It's almost done.
What we do now is continue keeping Caleb in the light. I mean, keeping him, he's out there. We feel like he's out there and we're going to get him back. We just got to find him, and hopefully that he can, wherever he is, find his way back as well.
21 years old. TAMUCC. Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. That's just unfortunate, y'all. Unfortunate. Yeah. Angel meant flip-flops. And I think somebody said, as far as, parents seeming calm, it's been a couple of weeks. They've been on media all over the place. The father's been, there's a lot of other footage where he's live and he's a wreck. He's out there. I believe he's still out there right now trying to find him. There's a reward going on right now trying to get for his safe return. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'll go through there and see if I can add to what we've seen and what we've heard. Again, he went missing March 4th, mysteriously. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna switch this around. This has been confusing me. I have my screens on backwards. That's why at the bottom it was saying for me to share my screen or whatever. There you go. I switched it around. Now it's normal. So reward for the missing person for a safe return. Last seen March 4, 2024, Caleb Harris. Maybe he wandered off and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who this. I don't know this kid personally, so I can't tell you anything about I don't know if he would do something like this or if he would run off or any of those things. He doesn't seem like that type of kid. He seems like a very good kid by all appearances. Everything I've read. How do they know he had no shoes on? It's a good question. I think that maybe perhaps his shoes were still in the apartment complex or in the apartment. And maybe all of his known shoes. I know that there's video of him leaving, but I don't know if there's video of him that you can determine whether or not he's wearing shoes. That's a great question, Sandra. Mark says, I don't like this one too. Too close to the water. Young man, no shoes, no wallet, no reason to be missing. Yeah, well, even the water thing. I mean, let me pull that back up real quick. Hold on. So here's where his apartment is. How does he wander off into the water? Well, there's a bridge right here, and there's water here. Nah. But why would he leave? I mean, if the food was at the complex door, which is, I'm assuming right here. I'm assuming this is the complex door, right? Let me see if I can actually get in there. Huh. I didn't know that. Why is this thing Aspen Heights? It's supposed to be the cottage. Well, maybe this was what it was before. But this is the apartment complex. This is where they drop off the food. There's no point or purpose in leaving the actual, the fenced area. And even if he wandered off this way, there's a fence back there. So he wouldn't make it into that little canal. Now, I don't know when these pictures were taken. Don't say right now on my screen. But like this type of concrete flooring, if somebody were to brake really hard, there would be skid marks on these, very visible. Somebody were to take off very quickly, the same thing would be left behind. You wouldn't be able to hide anything like the presence of blood or stuff like that on this type of flooring. Let's see if there's any cameras around here. I'm going to go to the front. Now, this is probably a while ago before it changed its name to the cottages. It still says Aspen Heights, but I don't know. Maybe somewhere right here there might be a camera now. Don't appear to be one here at the time. And I'm not sure which one is his apartment, but let's just, for the sake of argument, it's one of the back ones or the furthest ones. I mean, if you walk there, let's measure this out. Take that off. From here to, I don't want to use meters. Give me a sec. Man, they changed this all on me. I don't know what 292 meters is. What is that, like about 6 football fields or something like that? I don't know. Could be wrong. There you go. Now I figured it out. Ain't no 6 football fields. It's 3. All right, so it's about 3 football fields away. Let's see from the other side. Just, yeah, roughly the same. So that's the furthest that he would have had to have traveled, to have gotten to where his food was. I don't see how he would have, why he would have left, especially barefoot. And then They said that his phone was over here. Near the hospital. There's a water canal that goes down that direction. I don't know, guys. You guys have any ideas? Let me know in the comment section. I'm kind of stumped, to be honest with you, on this one. You know, I don't know. Let's see. How far away is the water from his apartment complex? Well, you have this small body of water right here, and I mean, from the entrance to here, it's less than a football field. It's about 90 yards away. However, the actual body of water, it's not that far. I mean, it's about 8 football fields. Let's put it in miles. Yeah, about a little bit shy of half a mile. But he wasn't there. He was, let's measure it here. I believe he came up and down this way, and somewhere around right here, about a mile away, is where his phone turned off. I'd seen the searchers walk in this area on the news and stuff. I've seen this field, so they've searched this area as well. I hope so. Larry Cisco, I hope he's found alive. How do they know you? Oh yeah, I already answered this one. Sorry about that. Going by his phone, did he have time to walk as far as he did? Yeah, that's the question, right? Like, you know, how fast was his phone moving? Was it moving at a speed that would be, you know, that one would believe he was in a vehicle, or was it at a speed of where you would believe that he was walking, right? That would definitely help out a lot. He lives with, I believe, 3 roommates. Challenge Daily asks, because you got a girlfriend. I don't know about the girlfriend, but I believe he's one of 3 roommates, I think. I think he has 2. What are the roommates saying? That's a good question. I haven't heard anything from the roommates. They haven't come forward. That doesn't mean that they're, you know, should be under some sort of suspicion or anything like that. We don't know that yet. But I haven't heard what they've had to say. I don't even know who they are. If anybody knows who they are, if they have come forward and made a statement, please send it to me at drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com. I'd appreciate that. Paige Malone with $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. It was food for the next day at school and fishing. Dropped off at the door. Yeah. Well, that's right. It was food for the next day. It wasn't food for 2. So, you know, hook up or girlfriend was probably unlikely. Thank you for your donation and catching that. We appreciate that. Let's see. I would not have known how many pairs of shoes, slides, or slippers my roommate had, or anyone else I've ever lived with. Yeah, that would be odd to know. I wonder how they knew that he went out barefooted. Maybe perhaps because he was sending Snapchats, right? And we saw a few of them in that video. Maybe perhaps he sent the Snapchat video and there was an image of him not wearing shoes. Maybe you can see his feet in one of the pictures. I don't know. It is a good question. Did he have rookies? I'm not sure what that means. Didn't realize it was a gated complex. Yeah. So that makes it even more weird, right? Because let's put this back out here. Because He was going to go pick up his food from the front door complex. That's not leaving the complex, right? Something else made him leave the complex. He's barefooted, no wallet, no keys, has his phone with him. Right? So if something happened to him, this is a gated complex as well. If something happened to him in here, somebody would have had to have known the gate code. Unless it was broken or something like that. I don't know. Corpus ends up having, sometimes they have some bad weather out there, and that can mess up some things for a while. But I don't remember the last time they had a pretty big storm out there, so it may not be as relevant. But yeah, see, there's nothing else around here either. It's just a flat, empty area. Insane. Where's the puppy? The puppy was left at home. He went back and then left it. Doesn't make sense. Don't. You guys are funny. It's food for the next day at school, fishing for classes after. Yes. This, I don't know what pranking stuff we're talking about. Did they have any robberies, domestic violence, or any other activity he accidentally saw and they grabbed him? See, that's the other thing I'm thinking, right? Maybe perhaps he saw somebody in the complex that shouldn't have been in the complex. Maybe perhaps they were doing something they shouldn't have been doing. And, he yelled at him or told him something and, something else ensued. That's one we don't know, right? I don't know. Sandra asked, did the food delivery person see him? I don't think so. Typically when you have like the Uber Eats and the DoorDash folks, they just go out there, they'll drop the food and then turn around and they're gone. Where's Steelers fan? I don't know. She's probably putting the baby down. Rogi's been a little fussy lately. Looks like a busy area. Yeah, it could be. I mean, let's see. Let's turn this one. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of apartment complexes in the area. Yeah, so, this is a college town, complexes. This area right here is advertised for A&M students going out on a Saturday night, consuming alcohol. I mean, those are all factors that could play into this, right? And it's not just this one particular complex. Maybe somebody got lost, somebody pulled in, they're drunk, they thought they were in their complex. Something happens, right? Because that's initially what went through my mind, and then especially when it's heading towards the hospital. But it's just unfortunate. Did he pick up his food? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe they found the shoe outside. I don't know, just thinking out loud. Well, if they found a shoe outside, then that wouldn't be good. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been to Corpus a few times. Challenge Daily says that she used to live there. I've been there a couple times. Also myself. Janet Smith says his phone traveled, but his phone could have been thrown into a field or that little waterway, but something could have happened to him at the complex. Sorry for many comments. No need to be sorry for too many comments. I usually don't see all of them, so if you want me to answer one, it's either you put a couple of stars before it or throw out the question a couple of times and I'll answer them. Was he a frat? I'm not sure. That's a good question. If he was barefoot, sounds like he was just, and sounds like he just taken dog out with intention of returning. Was dog on a leash? Maybe it got loose and he gave chase. No, he actually brought the dog back, put the dog inside, and then left again to go pick up his Uber Eats. So yeah, he had no intention of leaving, in my opinion, based on the information that we have. Yeah, caught up. Have they checked the hospital? I'm fairly positive they have. You know, that's probably one of the first places they would have checked. But yeah, I would have thought so. Let's see. Crazy stuff, man. Like some of these things, you just like I said, you just don't know what, not necessarily like what happened per se, but like some of the things that you put in your mind about what could have happened, and then there's no evidence of it. Like for instance, the possibility of, you know, a hit and run or accidentally hitting him with a vehicle, causing some sort of injuries, and then panic. Well, we would assume that we would have seen some sort of evidence of that in the parking lot, and I think that police would have, you know, honed in on that, you know, on that aspect as well. So 21 years old and still missing, Caleb Harris. There's a lot of I'm reading this real quick. Let me share this. One thing it says is that there's a lot of speculation, and that sure is. It says a lot of speculation, but he was either taken or he was outside and saw something he shouldn't have seen, or we just don't know, said Randy Harris, Caleb's father. And that's kind of like what we're going through, right? And that's kind of the scenarios that we're seeing as well. Was he taken? Was he outside and saw something he shouldn't have seen? You know, I tend to go back to time of night and area. You know, it don't seem, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think that there's probably any evidence of any wrongdoing, right? And so it don't seem like he'd be a prime, you know, he'd be a victim of anything that would have been nefarious directly towards him, right? Like a targeted event. So it definitely seems like something of opportunity or a crime of maybe perhaps an accident. So, I mean, but like Randy Harris, Caleb's father said, it's just a lot of speculation right now. There's not much we know. But we do know that they are heading, or they've come to San Antonio. Let me see if I can pull up that article about them coming to San Antonio and to New Braunfels. This is home to me. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. So, does his parents live in Corpus? No, his parents, I believe, live in New Braunfels. Let me see. Here it is. All right, let's read this so we can get a better idea. Maybe perhaps we'll get an idea of why they're in San Antonio. This is from Ken's 5. This is the local news station here in San Antonio. It says, we have not slowed down. Search for missing college student takes a new direction as Corpus Christi police seek leads in San Antonio. New Braunfels native Caleb Harris mysteriously vanished off his off-campus apartment complex in Corpus Christi more than 2 weeks ago. See, this is that area that I was talking about where I said you can see some folks, you know, they're doing a grid search, a walk through in that area, in that field. I believe that's it. The investigation into a missing college student from New Braunfels has expanded. According to the Corpus Christi Police Department, CCPD, detectives are now traveling to San Antonio and New Braunfels to search for new leads in the case. See, you know, to go that far to look for leads in a case like this, to me, sounds like, you know, there's more to it. Like they have something concrete that makes them believe that he didn't just wander off. I mean, what information would you have from San Antonio or New Braunfels that would lead to his whereabouts if he had wandered off, or if there was a hit and run or something like an accident that occurred in Corpus Christi? How do those two dots point or meet, right? Or connect? How do you connect those two dots? Accident, you know, something opportunistic, something in the moment, something he saw that he shouldn't have seen. How does his hometown, how do those dots connect? I don't think so. I think they may have found something, but I don't know. That's just my speculation. Let's see. Randall Harris told KENS 5 his son took his dog out for a walk about 2:45 a.m. on March 4th. Caleb then let his dog back inside. By 3 a.m., his phone was dead and he was totally gone, said Randall. He does not have his wallet. He did not have any identification on him. Loved one said Caleb was spotted barefoot in a surveillance video. So that's how they found out that he was barefoot. He was spotted barefoot in the surveillance video. According to Randall, Caleb would never walk off in the middle of the night. His roommates couldn't find him. Caleb's family called police. Why didn't his roommates call? Just speaking out loud. We recover 96 to 100% of missing people every year, said CCPD Chief Mike Markle. This is outside of the norm. The circumstances here, we are currently putting in an effort to find Caleb. On Wednesday, a CCPD spokesperson released the following statement. Corpus Christi Police Department officers, along with their federal and state partners, continue to work diligently to solve the disappearance of Caleb Harris. Harris is a 21-year-old Texas A&M Corpus Christi student who vanished without a trace from his off-campus apartment during the foggy early morning hours of Monday, March 4, 2024. So there's another aspect, another element of this incident where there was weather. It could play a factor, right? So you have college town, early morning, Saturday. This is Monday morning, so it wouldn't be as packed, or you wouldn't see as many drunk drivers out on an early Monday morning. I'm not saying that they're not out there. Obviously there are, but there's far fewer on a Monday morning than it would have been a Sunday early morning hour or a Saturday early morning type of situation, right? Just kind of throwing that out there. But apartment complex, college town, early morning hours, foggy, those all kind of factor out to an accident to me. But why would an accident lead detectives to San Antonio? That's where I'm confused. All right, let's continue. Following the initial exhaustive but unsuccessful search of hundreds of acres of surrounding Harris apartment complex on the 1900 block of Ennis Joslin Drive, criminal investigation detectives turned their efforts toward establishing a timeline for Harris in the hours and days preceding his sudden absence. Interviewing his roommates, friends, family members, and acquaintances, the detectives at this point in the investigation have no reason to suspect any of these individuals had anything to do with Harris's disappearance. So the roommates, his friends and family members, and acquaintances. So basically anybody who knew him, police don't believe anyone that knew who he was had something to do with his disappearance. So why are you going to San Antonio? Isn't that where you're following leads to where he was from? Or New Braunfels? Why are you going back where he's been if you don't suspect anybody that knew him? Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but detectives at this point in the investigation have never been to suspect any of these individuals had anything to do with Harris's disappearance. See, that sounds like he saw something maybe he shouldn't have, or an accident, right? It goes back to that situation, because they even go as far as saying acquaintances. Who did they talk to that said that they weren't friends with him? That police thought they were friends. They talked to somebody for them to say, nah, I'm not his friend. I'm his acquaintance. I barely knew the guy. I knew him, but we weren't friends. Who said that? Somebody had to have said that. That's an interesting term to use when you use friends also in that sentence. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky. Officers then went door to door throughout his and his adjacent apartment complex, scoring the area for possible witness or surveillance video, as well as searching over 30 vacant apartments for the missing student. 30 vacant apartments. They must have like some new ones going up. An investigative team consisting of investigators from the Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division and Organized Crime Unit, the FBI, and the United States Marshals Service, along with several civilian crime analysis, was formed within days of Harris's vanishing and continues to work full-time to solve his disappearance. The team meets daily to share information from the previous day's efforts, discuss possible leads, and plot the course of the investigation. This past Friday, the investigative team met with police headquarters and a squad of 5 Texas Rangers to share all the information on the status of the case and seek any advice the Rangers could provide. The consensus from the Rangers was that the investigative team was pursuing the most logical course of action in search and pledged their continued assistance and technical support of the team. The CCPD wishes to assure the public that while the search for Caleb Harris may be less visible than in the early days of this investigation, it is by no means less intense. Teams of detectives continue to interview potential witnesses here in Corpus Christi and have traveled to both San Antonio and New Braunfels to conduct interviews. Detectives are continuously following up on tips and chasing potential leads and will expend every effort until Caleb Harris is found. You know, the other thing is, if they don't expect, or they don't have reason to believe that maybe one of his friends or family members or even acquaintances weren't involved, do they think he left? Maybe he voluntarily left. Well, then why would they be investigating it? They shouldn't be investigating if they think he left. I don't know. Despite these exhaustive efforts, investigators still have not settled upon a motive for Harris's strange disappearance, nor identified a suspect or person of interest. Detectives are seeking the assistance for the public to solve this case. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Caleb Harris, please contact the Corpus Christi Police Department at 361-886-2840 or 361-886-2600. Anyone who would like to keep their identity secret and still provide information to detectives should also call Crime Stoppers at 888-8-TIPS. Wait, maybe I said 4 8s. It's 3 8s. It's 888-TIPS. Which is 8477 to submit the tip or submit a tip online. I don't know, guys. I ask a lot of questions out loud when I'm reading things. I'm reading this for the first time. Not everything that I'm saying obviously is going to turn into something that I think is happening. That's just kind of me thinking out loud when I say that, you know, some of the things that I was saying, referencing, you know, the acquaintance, you know, did somebody say, you know, I just barely knew him, kind of denied being his friend. That one kind of sparked my interest. Maybe perhaps they're releasing to, you know, the media that they don't suspect said acquaintance. So maybe they could slip. I don't know. Could be. I'm going to go through some of these comments and questions, and then we'll be calling it a show. Weather does play a factor. Waiting outside for his food. There have also been 2 to 3 missing young men in the area, fairly close, and I think with the very recent past, I don't know, so strange. And there's also been men that's been going missing in Austin, and you know, I don't know. I doubt this has anything to do with it, but yeah, there's some dudes are going missing all over the place. How long was it before he was reported missing? I believe he was reported missing like around 11 o'clock or so that day by his parents, not the roommates, which was a question. Paige says she lives down Mansfield, Texas. I'm familiar with that is. Trying to get down to Corpus to make sense of what's going on. Let us know when you get down there. Email me, drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com, if you have any information or any of those type of things. That way we can continue to spread the word and keep this in the public's eye. You know, I saw this case probably a few days ago, and you know, I saw that he had wandered off, you know, and here they're now I guess some more details that have come up of recent that talk about how strange this case is. And you know, I think that this case needs to get some attention, and we need to get this out there so that maybe perhaps if somebody does know something, they can come forward with that information. And Paige, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate letting us know if you find anything or or anything like that. Let's see. If he was big on fishing, did he have access to a boat, or did he charter or ride commercial fishing trips? I don't know. I think it may have been a part of his schooling thing, but I don't know. I'm just guessing on that one, to be honest with you. I don't know if he had a boat or not. Sounds like there's something going on behind the scenes. Might be. Just so little info released right now at this point. Hard to say, yeah. Okay, Stacy, that's odd. Detectives have got a lot more info. Yeah, they do. And I'm just kind of curious what information they have that brought them back to San Antonio. Because like I said, if they suspect that this was some sort of accident, or maybe he saw something that he shouldn't have seen, why would they go to San Antonio? Unless, no, but they're talking with his friends and stuff to try to get information about him. They're not looking at specific people, right? You know, perhaps maybe they saw a vehicle or something and it traced back to San Antonio or New Braunfels, but that's not what they're doing. They're talking to people that knew him. It's weird. I live nearby and they're searching every day and night. A team from San Antonio. Yeah. Is it, search SATX? If so, I know the, one of the main persons there. We had her on the show not too long ago. Did he have connections to San Antonio? He was from New Braunfels, which is right up the street from San Antonio. So he had friends and family members that were in San Antonio. His father's from New Braunfels, which is, New Braunfels is what, like 15 miles, maybe a little bit more than that from San Antonio. But it takes forever to get there sometimes because 35 can be hectic. You know, getting up there, the traffic between Austin and San Antonio, good luck. I mean, you have to really plan what time you're going to be driving through there throughout the day if you're going to be trying to travel through there throughout the day. Because if you go through there at the wrong time, good luck. You'll be there for a few hours. $35 sucks 100%. I hate 35. If I have to go to Austin, I try to go around it as much as possible. Things of that nature, you know. So hopefully there's a positive resolution in this case. Hopefully Caleb Harris is found alive and well. Maybe perhaps he did have some sort of, you know, just wanted to get away for a while and vanished for a couple of weeks. And will safely go home. You know, that's the hope right now. Hopefully some more information does come out. And as information comes out in this case, I'll be breaking it out to you guys. There may be a chance that I head out there to Corpus one of these days to check it out. Corpus ain't that far from my current location. It's like maybe 2.5 hours, a little bit like that, somewhere around there. Yeah, I may end up going out there, but let me know what you guys think about the situation. If you guys have any information on it and you don't want to go to the police or even Crime Stopper and you want to send it to me and I can send it to Crime Stopper, is more than happy to do so. You know, if you come up across some footage, surveillance footage, things of that nature that maybe perhaps gets released that I just haven't come across because I haven't come across it yet. But if some of those things end up getting released, you see it, please email it to me, drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com. I'd appreciate that. Well, guys, I'll be back on probably on Sunday for the members only live. So if you're not a member, make sure you go check out, become a member so you can check out the members only live chat. Do a Q&A. I answer as many questions, if not all the questions that are there in the Q&A. And then if you can't, for whatever reason, you know, it's just not in the cards to become a member, On Tuesdays, the member audio video comes out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you can go check those out there to catch those member only lives. Obviously, it's not live and you don't get to participate in the Q&A aspect of it, but you get to at least tune in to it. Paige Malone comes in with a $1.99 super chat saying something planned or opportunistic. Yeah. I mean, those are the two options there. I think the third one would be accidental. Yeah, that could be, something of accident, somebody panicked. But to go back to San Antonio just kind of throws me in a loop, Supposedly there's been a couple of sightings, but nothing concrete, nothing that's been verified or proven. So, it could have very easily been mistaken identity, things of that nature. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that notification bell if you haven't done so already. And if you can, would you do so? Please share this content with all your true crime friends and family. Let's get the word out there. Let's try to get Caleb Harris found. That being said, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys next